Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna critique this app, Google Map, and actually it's my second time of recording this video because first time it sucks. Okay, I will try to start again. So Google Map is a phone application on Android and also iOS and also browser, and that application is helping the users to find out the route from here to there. And I think if I'm the designer of Google Map, I probably want to know the research result gained from the research team to figure out who are the primary users, and also I want to know the user profile. So for Google Maps, it's a well-known app. I think it's used broadly, but I'm still curious about who are the primary users for now, and also whether the current primary user is the target primary user. I mean, it's like because Google Maps still needs to evolve, right? And then once it's iterated, are we still targeting the same group of user? And also what's the goal of the iteration? Is it like to gain more new users, or is like to increase the retention rate of the existing user, or is to encourage the users to use it more often? So I really want to know that what's the current goal for this application. And I think for a successful app, keeping the success is pretty challenging. So okay, I'll just critique immediately. Okay, so first of all, I will critique the icon a little bit. I think this new icon is introduced this year, and actually it was criticized a lot because it looks way more similar than other app icon in Google family. They are like twins, and it's really hard to differentiate this icon from the other icon. And you will probably feel like, wow, I'm just in a scenario which is I'm just probably in a room like everyone is looking the same and I cannot name them at all. Yeah, they are wearing the same clothes. So, but I would say that not the best side, the good side of using using similar icon, for the family members is actually boost or emphasize the branding so that the users or the audience will have a strong impression on this brand. And right now the brand is Google, right? And also, I think the icon is doing a great job of keeping the simplicity, and this minimalist style is very trendy. And also for map, it's using this location. This is like a location. How can I say? It's a location pin. Yeah, it's a pin, and it's pretty. I think it's the same icon once you are like tapping an area or tapping a place in the map. So this part of consistency is good. There's an okay. If you really want me to say something that critical to it, I would say that we can see the height of this icon is a little bit higher than the Gmail, which is okay. I think the designer wants to make sure that this icon looks like the same volume as the other icon. But as we can see, even though the height is increased, the Gmail still look very fat, still looks like a bigger, a bigger body compared to Google Maps. So even though they are sharing the same scheme, but they don't share the same body weight. Yeah, this is like 100 pounds, but this is like 200 pounds. Wow, that's probably too much, but that you get my point. Okay, let's continue. You click Google Map and then you just go here. There's a next transition for the loading. That's good because the user, if it's all of the sudden, or it's just spending too much time on the blank page, neither is good, because the user needs some time to digest what's happening. So slowly showing each item is good. That's a good animation. And then let's go to the feature level stuff. So here is the main screen for the Google Map. I'm curious, what's the goal of this feature? Obviously that we can assume that the goal is to let the user to search a place, search a destination, and here is indicating where he is right now, so that he can just continue on the next step, which is like to choose the route, right? And I think if that's the truth, and this feature is helping the user to find out the route, right? So does it make sense? Okay, so then I'm curious. I'm curious about the research, and I want to know that whether this is the most frequent used feature, or 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 it's like the user usually just come here and like they probably don't know where they want to go. For example, if we already have we all have this kind of experience, so we don't know where we are going, but we want to find a gas station which is nearby, right? So at that point, having the search to be so prominent is not the right case. So whether it's the right case totally depends on what's the primary use case. So what the user really wants to achieve mostly on this screen. And also it depends on the primary user's goal, right? So, and below that, we see the latest in San Jose. Well, okay. If you want me to critique a little bit about this feature, let's say that if searching a place and then searching the destination is the main use case, but it's actually placed at the top area. It's not placed at the right finger touching area, which means the user has to click here and move their finger up and then do the rest of stuff. So this one I will. I cannot say it's good or bad. Let's just keep critique. But I would say that it probably can be rethinked a little bit. Okay, and at the finger touching area, it's showing the latest in the area, and here are some nice restaurants. I don't know how much this part is used, because based on my experience, I barely use it. So I really want to see the data gained from the actual like user behavior. So I'm pretty sure that they have checked the user behavior through this application. And then and then below that is the navigation. The navigation is used the most typical tab navigation: explore, commute, saved, contribute, updates. So fastest route. To home. Oh, okay. I think commute is like saved the most frequent used places. And here is the saved. And then is the contribute. What contribute means? I've never used it. Edit map, app places. Updates. Seems like updates is a little bit similar than the exploration. So, okay, I would say that for an app, it's really hard to get rid of some features sometimes, but it's also needs thoughtful thoughtful plan about adding a feature. So just I'm not sure that how much those features will be used for most users, and if it's not used that often, maybe it shouldn't be in the first level of navigation, because this is the most prominent place, and we want to make sure that the user will get whatever they want immediately, other than just be shown something that unnecessary and irrelevant irrelevant. So yeah, so and okay, let's go back to the main feature. So for all the four tabs, I am curious about the goal, the purpose of those feature, and how much it's used, and whether that's really solving the pain point. Because to me, I don't see a strong pinpoint there, and I don't see the value of put it such in such prominent place. So, and then let's go to the main flow. Main flow is about searching a place. Let's just pick this one. This is my recent one. I think here, the okay, here I can choose the most recent item. Yeah, even though I was planning to discuss the feature first and then interaction and then visual, but here the visual here is just it really bothers me because I don't quite know that what's the meaning of this little clock, and we see all the clocks there. They have the same clock, and yeah, just I don't know what it means. If something is not that meaningful, maybe it's better to remove it. So because it may confuse the user, bring more cognitive burden, cognitive load. Yeah. And let's say that I choose 24-hour fitness, and then I will see it in the map, and it has the same shape. You see this pin has the same shape as the icon, which is good. And then also the map is allowing me to zoom in and out, and once I'm zooming the map, and all the irrelevant information will be collapsed. That's good. And then I can click direction, start or call. Yeah. And then we see the feedback. I think in this flow, the good part is no matter what you are doing, you get the immediate feedback, So that immediate feedback will let the user know where they are, what they are doing, and so that allow the user to not get lost. And and another thing is about these confirmation steps. So we see there are several steps, right? So here, click, tap, and then click direction. I think this click is a must. Because probably the user is not directing to this place. So of course, it's also based on the data. If like 99% of case, like they will just go there, and then maybe we can think about whether reducing some step will accelerate the whole flow and will make the user feel like, wow, that's really efficient. So, but of course, sometimes, I mean, there's a trade-off. If it's too efficient, and then the user may feel like too sudden, and may feel like too surprised, and may feel like a loss of control. So that's a trade-off. We can do the user test. But anyway, so we can think about whether we can reduce some steps. And here, this step, I feel like could be removed. Which step? Which I mean this step, the start click. So I feel like if the user already choose to direct to that place, and then it means the user is ready to start the route. That's just my intuition. I'm not sure whether it makes sense, but I think the overall flow can be improved if we think about how we can reduce some steps, how we can, get rid of some clicks. And then goes.
Head southwest on Summer Shore Court towards Somerton Drive, then turn left onto Somerton Drive.
If the user click the
24-hour fitness may be closed by the.
Yeah, there's some great alert because it's assuming that, okay, if you are going there, of course, you not just get to there and wander around. You want to go to that physical place, and it will remind you that, hey, that place probably will be closed at the moment. So be careful about your route. You don't want to, just waste your time, right? So that's really. Not that intelligent. I mean, that's really careful. I think the best UI is just designing a UI which is like your friend, and that friend is carrying you, and that friend is knowing you, that friend can help you. Yeah, that's a good part. And here we can see that this part is showing that not where, I mean like the direction you are going, and also it's showing the next step plus the current step. I think that part is really good. If we open the Apple map, it's only showing your current step. It depends on the driver, the style of the driver, right? So then we just go back to the cliche talk. We need to get the data from the user. Yeah. But I think that some users will prefer to see 2 steps because it will help them to plan ahead. But some users probably don't care. So let's see that which one provides better user experience for all user group. In a overall. So overall, yeah. And here there are some buttons, some toggles, which is search a gas station, and yeah. And here is showing the turn on the most important alert, and here is the map direction, and here is the add a report. I think the good part of this UI is like it's not hiding the button at the second level. It's just showing everything on the same pane. And then also we can see the button size is relatively big, which is easier for user to click. That's really good. And yeah, and below that is the estimation time, and it's also have a great hierarchy. I remember that in Apple Map there's no hierarchy, so everything is laid out, just vertically, horizontally. I don't remember, just everything is even. But here we can see some hierarchy. 9 minutes is prominent, and 24 mile is relatively small, in a small font. And then exit. Exit is actually placed here. I don't quite know the real reason. And okay. And then it reminds me something that's really important. I forgot to mention. Like because map app, I guess is used pretty often in a car, right? So the scenario, the environment of using this app is relatively different from other apps. It's not like you're just sitting at your sofa and then open this app, slide like TikTok. It's more like you're placing it on your car and then you just look at it. You have very few interaction with it once you're driving. If you really align to the if you're really like a good driver, like a safe driver. Okay, anyway, so I think the good part is what I was trying to say. Recenter. So okay, what I mean is like I'm not sure that how often the user will click this exit, and also because of the scenario of usage of this app is different from other app. I'm not sure whether the user will whether the user will interact the screen differently from other app. So we probably need to consider that part. So for example, if in other app you are mostly like holding the phone, but for Google Map you usually just place it on the car and then tap it, use your index finger, not your thumb. So that's probably the difference, and that should be considered. And also it will affect the position of the control. It will affect which control should be at which place, right? Okay, and then let me just talk a little bit about the visual design. I think I really like the transition, the animation of Google Map. So you see, You see the next transition, that no matter when you come back to a screen, it has a next transition of the overall map and show you the whole route, right, from here to there. And also it has a nice animation, goes from the starting point to the ending point. It draws your attention, and also it tells you, hey, this is the way that you're going to. It has a very clear instruction. It's telling you like this is the departure part, this is your destination, and also it encourages you to use this app because it's almost like hey, the map is realizing your dream and you feel like I should do that, I will realize my dream immediately because you have shown me that. So yeah, just I think that's done very nicely. And also the minutes, the time, you see that's repetitive sometimes, right? Not sometimes, that's repetitive, but I think it's repetitive in a good way if I didn't misunderstand the user. Yeah, because even though it's repetitive, but you don't know that where the user's eye will focus on. But the minutes, the time is probably the most important metrics based on research. That's just my assumption. Of course, it needs to be validated. It needs to be validated. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if that's true, and then if the time is something that the user really care about, if it's the most important metric, and then you should guarantee the user get this information on the screen, right? And even though sometimes it's a little bit repetitive, but on the other hand, we can think, or we can do some like a test to see where the user will look at, or where the user will search for this information. From where? I mean, if the user will search the information from the map itself, probably we can save some, a text here. We don't really need to show the information here. Oh, but here I think it's for comparison. Yeah, it allows the user to compare this time with the other time. Interesting. And probably here is to keep the consistency, because
Head
if you
southwest on Summer Shore towards Somerton Drive,
if
then
you
turn
click
left onto Somerton
there,
Drive.
and you will also see this information. Yeah, I don't have a nice idea about how to, repetitive information. I would say that sometimes it's good, but overall, I don't think it's that beautiful. But in the functionality perspective, it's good because it actually emphasizes the most important information and it makes sure the user don't lose it. But anyway, okay, let's continue. Yeah, you can still see some nice animation. Another good interaction is this one. So I think a lot of app here, it will only work once you drag it. If you tap it, it just stays there and it doesn't move. But here, actually, no matter you tap it or you drag it, they all trigger this panel to be expanded. So I think that's good. That ensures no matter how the user interact with this app, they will always get the information they need. Well, this icon makes more sense. This icon is much more better than the little clock. And also, the icon used here, we can see they share the same style as other icons. But yeah. But here, I think they're using a different icon. And talking about icons, sometimes it's using a solid background. Sometimes it's just using the line icon. And sometimes, and like line icon has a grayish background. And also they have this gray icon. And also they have this dark black icon. So in terms of consistency, I think there's some kind of improvement can be done over here, and yeah, but here I think the mapping is doing good, but it can be better. So here I think it indicates it's just some association of this icon with this dot, and this icon with this pin. But actually this icon looks a little bit different from this pin, so why don't they are the same? I'm curious what's the why designer do it in this way. So yeah. Oh, and another thing is good is like once you go to a specific place. Sorry, once you like turn on, not turn on. It's once you are actually in a route, you don't see the navigation anymore. So here is the full screen, and it just makes sure that the user focus on the screen rather than being distracted by other navigation stuff. So that part is good, and yeah. How long time? Okay, I think that's pretty much for the app critique. Yeah, it's already like 26 minutes. Okay, I'm tired. Let's wrap it. Thank you for watching.